Welcome to LexTalk.World show presented by ClickAway Creators. Today we have Mr. Graham Lee with us. For the past 13 years, he's been a magistrate, having the privilege to serve the local community and provide an unbiased delivery of the law. After 25 years in the forces, serving in many areas of conflict in both fighting humanitarian roles, he has been in the commercial sector in robotic space for many years. He has experienced many different industries from banking, finance, government, military to heavy manufacturing, that is steelworks to sportswear companies. He is a mentor, coach, and a leader who believes in looking after the well-being of the staff and helping get most out of the untapped mind. So welcome, Mr. Lee. We are pleased to have you with us today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you ever so much. I'm chuffed a bit to be here. Thank you.
All right, then please give us a brief about your personal and professional background.
Of course. Okay. So many years ago, I wanted to travel. And at the time, the only way I could travel was to join the forces. So I wanted to be an aircraft engineer, but I didn't. But there was a unit that was going to deploy to Hong Kong for a couple of years. So I joined that unit. I only wanted to be in the military for 6 years, 9 years, etc. But then started making a career out of it. So the career went from being infantry to digital communications. And then at some point, I decided to leave the military, the MOD, the Ministry of Defence, and become a commercial project manager, which I did. And I went to a company called Norwich Union. And that now is a company called Aviva, because one of my projects was to rebrand certain parts of Norwich Union to Aviva. And during that particular time, while I was in the military, I decided that I wanted to understand more about being a magistrate. I heard it on the radio. I applied. I got declined because at the time, being a serving member of the armed forces, you wasn't allowed to sit on the bench. So they changed, and I got accepted. And I was in military uniform when I was sat on the bench, but I couldn't wear my uniform on the bench because it'd be slightly wrong. And then while I was doing that, I working for my commercial side was working with automation within the Norwich Union, Aviva, and with the insurance industry and banking. I got headhunted to move to different places, and last year I was with a company called Automation Anywhere, delivering cognitive and AI solutions. And now I'm working for a company called Agilisis, who help local government, NHS, and courts to actually automate some of their processes. And that's me now.
Well, that is just amazing. I really like the part that you heard it about on the radio and you went for it. That is just great. That just tells our viewers that nothing is impossible. And if you have your mind set to it, you can just achieve anything.
You can.
They're all there. So since you come from such a diverse experience, what are the 3 major aspects of the business that you consider most important?
So the 3 areas, the best... Let me think. So I think the most important is all about time, okay? And everything we do is about time. Time irrespective, it doesn't matter, it just goes and goes and goes. You can't stop time. So we've got to use it efficiently. And as well as starting prepared before we start time, it's actually finishing the end of the day. And it's that well-being, that mindfulness, how we can use end of the day to actually capture what we've done. Sometimes we go into that automated thinking approach. You get to work and you finish work and you haven't a clue what you've done throughout that day. So it's actually utilizing time. Time to start, time to finish. And the key one is actually using technology to our best advantage. So either from the private sector to the government sector, we've all got different expenditure, what we can do, and our strategies are slightly different. But one thing we've got to do within the business is we've got to look at the slowest denominator so that we can then move together, because technology advances so quick from the iPhone 5 to the iPhone 10 and 11 Plus and Pro. They're all different. Not everybody can buy one, but actually we've got to look at how technology can be used, and we've got to use that, and we've got to make sure that we're aligning our strategy and the processes together. So that was probably the 3rd important thing that I would like to shout about.
Well, again, that is just some amazing advice for our viewers out there. What do you see, or what has been a lighthouse beacon to you?
Wow. Probably being a mentor and a coach. being mentored and coached myself, and also people helping me to go into an area where I would never even thought of going, such as being a magistrate or moving into automation, is somebody who identified that I had that skill, I had that particular outlook on life, and totally different to other people. So I've been called many, many different things, nice as well as bad, but actually helping and mentoring is something that I really, really cherish. So being a mentor and a coach, I like to see people move forward. And also that gives a reward to say that people can actually excel, and people aren't living in that little bubble, that they're unfrightened, and having that fear from failure. So remove that freedom, give them the freedom and fear of failure, so they can. So yeah, they're the three things: mentoring, coaching, and helping.
Amazing. So for our viewers out there, I think what Mr. Lee is trying to say is that failure is okay. You know, be prepared to fail. It's absolutely fine in your journey. You know, eventually you will land where you have to be, but it's a process. It's a very integral part of your journey.
That's correct. Yeah.
So what do you see as a future disruptor to legal process?
Wow, disruptors. Let me think. So disruptors is going to be how the law changes and how processes and how we actually look at things moving forward, because anything's a disruptor. When we use electricity is a disruptor. So once electricity is gone, you can only work with a battery on your iPad, but then also the battery disappears, but you've lost access to the internet. So the internet disappears because your router's done. So there's lots of disruptors, but within the disruptors of the legal profession, I would probably say that we need to look at how technologies, and we rely on technology. So, and it's that power of that technology, but also how we've got to keep up with trends. It's very nice to keep up with TikTok. So TikTok over the last couple of months is big, great, and that's a trend. But then people will probably go, right, what else can I do? And something else appear. It's how we utilize that technology. So the likes of using Agilicis, the company that I'm working with at the moment, how we help and support the local government and how we can move that forward. But again, using software vendors to help the digital workforce. So it's the digital workforce to making the human workforce more human. So there's a company that I'm privy to and I can help out, which I'm helping and mentoring as well. There's a company called RPA Supervisor who manages the digital workforce on the automation, so that all these disruptors is actually getting the best out of technology. And that is very, very key. It's power, but it's also looking at how we can use digital workers to help the humans to become more efficient.
Right. So just piggybacking on this very last point that you mentioned, how do you think that automation is impacting businesses?
Wow. Okay. So it is impacting business. If you haven't started, you will be starting very shortly. Everything using from your own mobile phone to technology, we're using automation, we're using AI, we're using artificial intelligence, we're doing facial recognitions, we're using heat recognitions, especially now with COVID-19. So there's that technology, how we're moving. So we've got to look at how we can merge that technology, removing manual processes, so that we've got all this data, and it's massive of data that we're using. We've also got to make sure that we look after that data. So that data protection, and that is key. The legal side of that data protection, such as in Europe, we've got GDPR, and then in America, it's got different things, different terminologies, etc. as well. So it's adding how we impact our business to make the business more efficient, slick by using technology, such as we've got optical character recognition, we've got image character recognition, who can take these flat files, and in the courts, there's lots and lots of paper, there's lots of images, there's lots of photographs to prove to the defense that this is what's happened. But then that's a flat file. So we need to take that and put it into a digital file. We guarantee that people just scan it and scan it and scan it. Again, that's a manual process. So we can automate that using technology in the way we deliver. So by impacting the business, we've got to make sure we've got the legal side. So our normal profession, give them the opportunity, so when they stand in front of myself in the court, is that they've got the necessary connectivity so they can handle that very quickly and efficiently. So it's building a team on providing that team the efficiency to actually move that forward. So it's bringing and merging the legal profession with the mid office and the back office people with the digital technology, so you can be better at doing your job.
Absolutely. I'm completely in sync with that. What are the three best practices that you would like to share with our young legal professionals?
Wow. Okay. We mentioned it previously. I love doing it. Is having the freedom of the fear of failure. If you're going to fail, fail. Don't worry about it. And it's probably the first time that any professional has left university and they're going to fail, because everyone had to pass. You had to pass to pass your degree. You had to pass to get out of college. You had to pass to get out of high school. You had to pass to get out to junior school. So now is the time to actually fail and enjoy failing, because you learn more, and because if you don't fail, you're not trying hard enough. So it's better to fight. It's better to try to fail than fail to try. Okay. So that's number one. Learn technology. Your profession isn't just about legal. It's not about people. It's not about commercial. It's not about whatever law bar you're looking into. It's about looking at technology moving forward to enhance your skills. So looking at attended automation, where it helps you to deliver what you're trying to do. Unattended trends, unattended automation. The terminology when people start talking, because you're using a laptop. That laptop does a lot more than what you've trained on. So let's look at software, and software is available and it's free in some places. Accept change. We are a human workforce that sometimes we don't like change. We don't like change at all. There's a couple of books out there that I help with people, such as toilet reading, very small 10, 15 minute reads. There's one which is Who Moved My Cheese? And there's other ones as well. And it's all about the culture of change, understanding how we can change and accept change. So, and then prepare and align technologies and connectivities. It's bringing all that together. So you've got a fear from the fear of failure, that technology and terminology, but using it to help you to do your day job. You don't want to be sat there with an invoice when actually the robot can do the invoice. Or you want to understand what the context of that letter is. So you can have an overview by adding the robot and some natural language processing. So you can look at it and say, oh, that's a very angry, or that's to do with a claim, or that's to do with an insurance, or whatever. So you can use technology to help you to speed up your decision cycles.
Absolutely. And I think that will just be great. I cannot wait for the day a robot reading my emails, scanning through the information, and just giving me only what's important that needs to be actioned upon.
Yes.
That would be amazing. So as we all are aware of the situation currently, and we know that majorly we are working from home, in this situation, everything is closed. So what are the challenges that you are currently dealing with, and what sort of a solution do you envision?
Wow. Okay. So number one is people. We like coffees. We're social people. We like to have a coffee. We like to sit at the desk, be a social workspace. You've got a coffee and you see somebody going to a coffee machine, you say, right, I want to chat with them. So you go and join them, pat them on the back. This is what I need. This is what I want, etc. You lose that. And at the moment where people are working from home, and I'm working with people in Norway, Australia, etc., and it's very two-dimensional. And that's it. You can only speak to one person. If you've got a way of communicating, such as Zoom, only one person can communicate. But you can still see other people, and it slows the way that you're interacting together. So the people is key. The people is one of the biggest problems and challenges we have. So how do we use that? So we use that in the way of culture of change. We've all adapted. So we've all adapted to work with 1 or 2 or 3 laptops or screens, working from home. We've all adapted that the way that we behave. We get up, we come down, we go start work. I'm guaranteed that out there, that more people are doing more hours at work compared to where you're commuting. So we've changed our behavior. We've adapted change. So back to Who Moved My Cheese, we've adapted that already. We've adapted. Yeah. So the key, as we're moving forward, is using, and this is where I come into with my professional career, is using technology. So there's lots of technology companies out there, and there's customers out there, and there's consultancies out there that all there to help you. And the majority of it is free gratis, but also it's understanding of how we can actually help that. So the envision is you're going to be using technology to advance. We're going to use our software that's on your machine to advance very quickly. And especially in the current climate, we're going to adopt change. and adopting changes by using different consultancy companies and different consultants to actually help you to move faster. There's plenty of automation solutions out there, such as Blue Prism, Nice, UiPath, AntWorks, just to name a few with Automation Anywhere. But then there's companies such as RPA Supervisor that can help you once you've done that. And then while we're doing that, let's look at some other areas where we can actually deliver, doing a proof of concept. Get a proof of concept, see if it works, such as like companies like Agilysys, where they'll come in, do a proof of concept. So here you go, it does work. All right. And then you put that from a proof of concept into a live environment, and you can stand back and watch it. So it's using these technologies, and we're using these technologies over time. All right. And over time, that behavior of people and the behavior of what we do will then start to accept it. And we start to accept Zoom. We start to accept Skype and Teams. So we're accepting that as our day-to-day life. So we do have that. There's that behavior is changing.
I also see that as very evident. It is indeed changing. I recently had someone like get married on Zoom because of lockdown. I actually had a friend, you know, they got married on Zoom, and we were like participants, like actual guests, but like virtual through Zoom. So again, people are accepting technology more. They're embracing it. Everything, all of this was unheard of before 2020. Like you would never imagine anybody getting married like this and you attending the wedding on a Zoom call.
Exactly, yes. I know. Our life has changed, and it'll probably change again for the next couple of years.
Yes, I'm completely, you know, I'm in sync with that. Good. So thank you so much, Mr. Lee, for sharing such great insights with us.
Thank you, Kathy. Pleasure.
Chat with you in the future. And for our viewers, if you like this interview and you want to have more coming from the industry leaders, please like, share, and subscribe to ClickAway Creators on YouTube. And this is Prachi for LexTalk.World.